Our last author today, all of our authors are the best. So I don't want to say I'm saving the best for last, but I sort of saved the best for last. If you are here for Katie Campbell, I know that there are over 750 of you who signed up and said you were going to be a fan of this book before it even came out. Give Katie a shout out right now. I am going to bring her onto the red carpet. The author of The Courage Club, Katie Campbell, come join me out here. So great to have you. So many people are on this webcast as fans of you. We're getting inundated with messages now. But not everybody knows your story. Yes. So let's give people a little background on the Courage Club, what the book is about, and about you and your story.
Yeah, so the Courage Club really comes out of a realization that I had for my own struggle. So 3 years ago, I was diagnosed at the age of 30 with stage 2 breast cancer. And then at the age of 31, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So the last 3 years have been just chaos and crisis and a lot of learning. And I realized that I was sort of facing this paradox in my life where on the one hand, my life had lost a lot of the things that I thought would give it meaning. So for example, becoming a mother. I can't become a mother now, having stage 4 cancer. That was sort of going to be the whole point of my life. That was going to be it for me, becoming a mom. And, it sort of made it more difficult for me to work full time. It impacted my relationship. So it really impacted a lot of my meaning makers in my life.
And you had a very meaning making job. Like you had a save the world job. Exactly. Was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. That was it for me. I was saving the world. And so I lost a lot of those things. But at the same time, I knew that cancer was literally threatening my life. And, I might not live to be 40 or 50 or 60. So in whatever time I have left, I really wanted to make it meaningful. And I realized that over the last 3 years, I've come up with all of these strategies for how to create meaning, how to create meaning, how to find fulfillment, how to really live my life deeply. And so I decided to write this book for other, specifically young adults who are going through cancer, because I think it's such a difficult time in your life to be faced with something like this.
So to me, when I think of courage and cancer, and I know that I'm amateurish, you've had so much more experience than me, but I think of like treatments and tests and procedures and going to hospital and having the courage to look at those test results. Yeah. Or to show up for that procedure that isn't going to be super pleasant, or to brace yourself for recovery. Like that's to me what I think of when it comes to courage. But you take courage to a whole nother level. So who's invited to the Courage Club, and what do you mean by courage over there?
Sure. I mean, yes, that is part of it. I was a huge baby before I got cancer. I hated being stabbed with needles. I hated getting sick. And so part of it is just being able to sit down and go through those kinds of treatments. But everyone's invited to the Courage Club, really. But for me, having courage is about connecting. And first and foremost, it's about connecting with yourself. And I think connecting with ourselves, loving ourselves, accepting ourselves is an act of courage. I think it's a radical act. It's not something that we're taught to do. Everything around us says, no, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not spending enough time. You're not pretty enough. You weigh too much, or you weigh too little, or whatever it is. So having the courage to really connect with yourself and face down really difficult emotions. There's a tremendous amount of grief, anger, fear, all of that comes with a diagnosis like cancer. So for me, that's really what the courage is about.
Your book is very personal, and you really are quite vulnerable about your own life. Were there challenges, other people who want to write about aspects of their own life? Were there challenges to sharing so much of yourself, and what was easy and what was hard about that?
Yeah, I think that, I think actually one of the challenges was I kept saying, well, who would want to read that? Who would want to read this? Who cares about my, my little story, my life? So that was kind of one thing I had to overcome was to really think about what other people could get out of this.
I was going to say, what helped you overcome that?
Yeah, I think I realized, and I've kept a blog the whole time, so I've written a lot, and I've been very vulnerable and open the entire time. And I think
KatieCrushesCancer.com.
Exactly. Yeah. Katie crushes cancer. And I think what I've realized over time is that the more vulnerable you are, the more you share, the more that you can connect with other people, and the more other people can relate to you. So the book is filled with not just like vulnerable stories about really difficult moments in my life, but also sort of like funny and embarrassing stories. And I actually channeled Brene Brown a lot. I thought not just her work on vulnerability, if you know her work, but also she just tells like kind of funny and embarrassing stories, and it makes you love her, right? It doesn't make you say like, oh, Brene Brown, what a weirdo. So yeah, that's what I tried to do in my book.
So powerful. I know there's going to be a lot of questions for you. We are right at 2:00. Please hang with us for a couple more minutes. We will definitely catch up. We're having trouble keeping up with all your questions. Oh my God. Aileen, you want to know if we plan to share how to work with you? Yes, hang on. I'm going to share that in 1 second. William from Minnesota is sending you love. Sue, Meredith, Lauren, Andrew. You know who that is. No. Kate, Sherry, Caroline, Jessica, Julia, Maggie, Brenna, so many of you. Thank you for sharing your love for Katie. If you were part of her Kickstarter campaign, you will soon be getting your books, but get your book today. You can help Katie out by downloading her book. You'll still get a copy. There's no charge for this. Click on that link on the screen, download the book, share it, take that link to her Amazon book, share that on your Facebook page, send it to some friends. You know how inspiring her story is, and it needs to get out to more people. I'm going to keep Katie with me, and we are going to tell you guys about some amazing free gifts. Once I get through these free gifts, and just know we'll be emailing these as well, I will tell you how to go to the authorincubator.com/apply to find out about working with us. Katie, let's talk about your giveaway. What are you giving to our attendees today?
Yeah, so I have been lucky enough to be able to give some speeches and presentations across the country over the last few months. And so I've put those online for folks. And in the coming weeks and months, I'm going to put a lot more resources up there for folks who are just trying to live their lives fully and deeply. So
awesome. And so you will get a link to this, but it's katiecampbell.com/reader-resources. Check those out. Gina Catalano from Tandem Leadership has that free Tandem Leadership Toolkit. If you are running a company, if you have a second in command or need one, venturesolutions.com/tandem-leadership-tool-kit. Again, these links are coming your way. Erica has an amazing quiz. If you go to reprogramyourweight.com/quiz, you can take that quiz and find out about what it's going to take to reprogram your weight if you are ready for that. You can also check out her online course. Maybe if you get hypnotized, she will not make you cluck like a chicken. I promise. Misty Lawn, if you go to morethandancers.com, you will get a ton of resources for the dancers in your world. And you can also check out her one small yes daily routine worksheet at mistylawn.com. Chris Simpson, if you go to chrisjsimpson.com, you will find a ton of tools and resources at chrisjsimpson.com/free downloads. Mary Stir has the free copy of her strategic retirement toolkit. That is at sterlingfinancialservices.com/p/toolkit. Again, all of these links will be coming your way email. I want to tell you about one other book, which is strategically suited by Hayward. Lee is actually my stylist. You're seeing her today. These clothes for me. And her book, Strategically Suited, is about how you may have a strategic sales weapon, a secret sales weapon in your closet that you don't even know about. So it is how to dress strategically to make more sales, generate more relationships and more business. You can go to strategicallysuited.com and get her image edge calculator. You can calculate your image edge and also look at some of the before and after photos from her clients. I might be up there. Go check that out. She also has a picture perfect checklist to ensure that you get good headshots. Have you done headshots?
I have.
Yeah.
I don't have a checklist, though.
You need the checklist. You need the picture perfect checklist that's strategically suited before you do those next headshots. And guys, Katie was a part of our 13-week program. We have 2 programs here. One is virtual, one is live. I would say they are both pretty intense. Would you say it was intense?
Yeah, definitely.
But the difference is with the live program, you really go on our schedule. That's really the difference. We do have a couple of those coming up. We are sold out until October. But go ahead, go to the authorincubator.com/apply and you'll find out about the virtual program. That's where you set your schedule. You can set a 3-day schedule if you wanted to. How much time do you think you were spending on your book every week?
You know, I was lucky enough to have friends who, Mary and Tim, who gave me their cabin in the woods for a whole month. So I just spent a month of weekends basically writing my book. And
that sounds great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was wonderful.
So you may not have friends with a cabin in the woods, but everybody has what I call their author mojo. So Katie knew that by focusing and kind of taking time away from home, away from her regular routine, being in the cabin, focusing on that would help her to get her book done. We will find what that is for you, and you can put that into your schedule. So if you are thinking about working with us, go to the authorincubator.com/apply. We will let you know about those live events, but again, like I said, later in the year. I actually think the next one is November, now that I'm thinking about it. So we have one more of those later in the year, but lots of opportunities to work with us virtually. In July, we still have 1 spot open, and then we'll have some more slots in September. I'd love to talk to you, hear about your ideas, see if you're a fit to work with. What's your take? Do you think if somebody's thinking about writing a book, this would be a good fit for them?
Absolutely. There is 0 chance that this book would have gotten done had I not done it through this program. So yeah, I'm super thankful that I found you. And yeah, I think if you're thinking about it, definitely this is the place to come.
Awesome. Nothing like putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
So get a copy of Katie Campbell's The Courage Club. All of these books we will send you the links to. Please share them liberally. They will be available for free today. We want as many people as possible to get them. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out for an extra 8 minutes. It has been an amazing time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We are going to continue